busted dancing in front of his mirror. I was trying on clothes. I broke a sweat.
Out here. That's great. Good work. How are you?
How are you?
Fantastic. How are we going to do this?
It's basically your floor. You can tell stories. I'm your kind of moderator guy. Other than that, y'all know the drill. He's here for you. If you have any questions, just hold up your hand. When you ask your question, stand up. I'll point at you, ask your question, all that good stuff. Everybody cool? Yeah. So how you doing today?
How many people haven't seen him walking dead?
What's wrong with that?
Oh my God.
He's dead?
Why did they let you go?
I think maybe we should jump straight to the questions. What do you think?
Yes.
I don't know.
Got a question back there in the back?
I have a non-walking dead question. Let's go back to the right stuff in your portrayal of Scott Crossfield. And I'm wondering, one, did you get to meet with him and talk about working on that character? And two, when you were filming it, did you have any idea that it was going to become the iconic film that it turned out to be?
I knew it was a great story. It's based on Scott Crossfield is really a real American hero. He was the first test pilot to go twice the speed of sound, Mach 2. And Chuck Yeager was the first one to break the sound barrier. I did meet Chuck Yeager. I'll tell you a brief story. When I met him, I said, "Excuse me, General Yeager, I'm one of the actors playing one of the test pilots." And he had a big smile. He says, "Who is that?" I said, "Scott Crossfield." He goes, he turned around and walked away. It kind of told me the competition that existed between the test pilots, and particularly him, because when Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier, it was top secret. And when Scott Crossfield came along and went twice the speed of sound, he was on the cover of Life magazine. So I think Chuck had a little grudge for this. They were both really American heroes. And Scott Crossfield was the first pilot. He was also an aeronautical engineer, and he designed the space suits that the astronauts wore. So he was a wonderful, great guy. I never got the chance to meet him.
Yeah. Got a question over here.
Hi, Mr. Wilson. In the final scene with the governor, where he sadly decapitated you, you gave a little smile just before it happened. I was just wondering, was that under direction? Was that your own thing? And what were you trying to convey with that?
You know, it's really a collaborative medium. Film is a very collaborative medium, and it takes everyone to make something work. And that was scripted. I understood immediately what it meant. We were shooting the scenes, and the director came up and said, "Scott, it's time for that smile." So I knew that meant the dead was coming in. But it was scripted. And I thought it was a great insight into the film, because it totally conveyed the relationship that Herschel and Rick had. Herschel was talking to Rick and trying to keep humanity in the group. So that was a important moment. Thank you.
Young lady right here.
Hi, well, I miss you on the show.
We all
And
definitely.
also, I had a question, would you be able to keep your prosthetic leg as a souvenir?
Wait, what?
Could you keep your prosthetic leg? They let you keep it?
I don't have the prosthetic leg, but I have my head in trash.
Awesome. Do you scare your dog with it?
I have to say, I have noticed that you haven't cut your hair this year. So I'm wondering if that indicates that we're going to see more of Herschel in flashback.
If we are, I don't know it. What happened, I knew I was coming back to do a flashback on The Walking Dead, and in the meantime, a friend of mine, Michael Conley, who writes those great books about Harry Bosch, he was also a friend of mine, called me and asked me if I would do something with this pilot that they were shooting at Amazon. And I said, I'd love to, but I have ponytail and a beard. He said, that's okay. So I shot that, then I went back and shot The Walking Dead. And so now I'm kind of trapped because I'm set up in that, having the ponytail and a beard. So, and I'm supposed to be in, I think, 3 more episodes.
Oh, awesome. Sweet.
Next question, right here in front.
Just tell, what is the name of the show that you're going to be in?
Bosch.
Bosch.
Yeah.
Next question. Question?
Yeah, they don't give the cast very much knowledge right before they film. It's usually like an episode or 2 before. But it seemed like the episode, how much knowledge did you have before you knew your character was going to be all?
Well, when in episode 3 of the 4th season, I got a little suspicious because they were giving me too much to do. You know, that great speech, you just step outside and take a drink of water. And
So you were not aware at that point? You just had a...
they didn't tell me, but I said, this is not good. It was fun, but it's not good. And then in episode 5, 405, where he goes inside and is trying to save everyone, I said, I'm gone. This is it. And after that episode, next morning they told me that I went and spoke to Scott Gimple and got the news. So that was about episode 5, 6, 7, and 8. They took me out. So that's how long we knew. And I wasn't in 6 or 7. So.
Question over in the corner.
I just wondered if there was any news on a sequel to Behind the Mask, because I really enjoyed that movie and I liked your part in that. It was really fun. Is there any news on a sequel to it?
Well, I keep hearing that they're talking about doing a sequel to it, and I believe there's a script, but I haven't read it, and they haven't said we're making it, so I don't know what's going on there. But I agree with you. That was a very clever script, and a lot of fun to work on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question there, and then I'll come to your question.
In The Walking Dead, what was one of the most challenging scenes for you to do, either physically or mentally?
Well, I'm always mentally challenged. But I think probably the first episode, was it, of season 3, when I was bitten the leg and they chopped it off. That day was very physical and very draining, because it isn't like you're just shooting one take, you're shooting it all day. So you're bit and the group is picking me up and we're running down the hall, and it's just energy. And we're running into the cafeteria. So it was at the end of the day, I was ready to get some sleep, at least some rest. You don't sleep when you're pumping that hard, when your adrenaline's been pumping all day.
Question right here.
Mr. Wilson, quick question. I know most of the shows are filmed in the southeast, in Atlanta and around Georgia. I know most TV shows, I mean, it's a totally different experience on a soundstage versus being in a real environment. And I just wanted to know a little bit about the history of the prison. Was it actually like an old decommissioned prison? And what's it like working in a real,
That's a great question. The prison was constructed by Grace Walker, who was the art director of the show. And it was really not a prison at all, but he certainly made it look like one. It was the back of the sound stages and the lot that was there. It's, again, like film is a collaborative art form. And all of the work that he did and his team, the work that they did really set the tone and the mood and made it credible what was taking place. The interiors were all on sound stages made by his team, so it's, I'm sure he would appreciate that question. I do.
Next question. Back in the back.
Just what was your favorite and least favorite part about working Walking Dead?
It's just a great cast, you know, and the writers. When I first heard about the show, I'm from Georgia, and I was back visiting my mom for her birthday. She was turning 97 at the time. She's turned 100 recently. She still drives and she still cooks. And,
Wow.
you know, and gets out and works in her flower beds, and she's very active. But what was the question?
Just what was your favorite, part about working on Walking Dead versus other roles you played?
Aside from being able to work with the wonderful actors and the writers and the crew, that had a great crew on it as well, that was big for me. Because when I had downtime, I was able to go home and visit my mom. I left Georgia when I was 19. I hitchhiked to California, and I went back a lot, but I didn't have the opportunity to spend as much time with her as I did for the 3 years I was on the show. So that was a big plus. And I've made friends with people, below the title and above the actors as well. So it was a great experience all the way around.
First hand, second hand.
So, you mentioned your mom. Does she watch the show, and in particular, does she watch you get your head chopped off?
Yeah, she's a fan of the show. When I was up for it, I said, let me see the first season. So I was looking at the first season with her, and she said, Scott, you have to do this. And my real name is Billy, so she's calling me Scott now. But and she also read the first stage scripts and said, you really have to do this. This is a great show. And she was right, but that's not necessarily the reason I did it. But she was a fan of the show, is a fan of the show. Thank you.
Question over here.
Well, I mean, an expression of how close we get is when the characters are killed off the show. There's a death dinner that the cast goes to, and so it's really a bonding moment and appreciation of the work that they've done. Certainly, the actors from the first season, a lot of them are gone now, and they, we walked on their shoulders for a long time. And now they walk on my shoulders as well, with cast members that are remaining. So and there's an appreciation for that from the cast who is there. So it's really time for.
Will you continue to watch the show and maybe later episodes?
Well, truthfully, I don't usually watch it when I was in it. At the end of the season, I would watch it because I didn't like to see something maybe I wouldn't agree with, and then I might go in and, it's too late. Once it's done, it's done. So I will, probably what I'll do is binge watch it.
What What does your mother think about the beard and the ponytail?
She likes it. But also, in answer to the question earlier, someone asked her once how she felt about me getting killed. She said, "Oh, I've seen him get killed before." Yeah, I was hanged in the second film.
Uh-oh.
Question right here.
Yes, hi, Mr. Wilson. Can you tell us a little bit about your first role as Harvey Ober in Interview of the Night and how it was working with Rod Steiger and Sidney Poitier and Lee Grant?
It was fantastic, and Warren Oates was in the film too. And an actor by the name of Timothy Scott, who was in that too. It was really incredible for a young actor. I've been acting 5.5 years when I got that role, doing plays and workshops. I taught acting for a while, but it was kind of awesome to be working with that group of people. And you knew when you were working that it was something special, and it was. It won 4 Academy Awards that year, and was nominated for more. And it led to my being up for In Cold Blood, which I got. And The Heat of the Night was the first film interview I had in 5.5 years. And I said, I better get this, and I did. So it was quite a start for a young actor to work with that group of people.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Scott, I'm a big fan. I was wondering, I saw a picture a while ago of you, Andrew, and Stephen out on the golf course. And I was wondering which one of you is the best golfer.
Andrew is the best. Stephen probably could be if he played more. And I'm the worst. But I score better than Stephen, but he has more talent.
Scott, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about In Cold Blood.
Well, it was, the reason I was up for that relates to The Heat of the Night. And Mr. Poitier one day asked me if I was up for that film. And I said, "What's that?" He said, "It's something you should be up for." And also Quincy Jones, who did the score on In the Heat of the Night and Cold Blood, without my knowing it, both of them had talked to Richard Brooks, who was the director of In Cold Blood, and telling him that he should see me, that they thought I was right for the role. So I went in, and 6 weeks later, I didn't know what it was. I got a copy of the book, magazine articles, and read it, and knew that it was a great opportunity. Though I will say, I wish that the film hadn't been made, the book hadn't been written, and the murders had never taken place. But since it did happen, I'm glad that the film and the book stayed true to the actual events and didn't glorify these two guys that committed that horrible crime. So it was a great experience. I mean, as far as work goes, it was very intense. It was very focused. And Richard Brooks was a volcano ready to erupt at any time. And I think he did that maybe to keep people focused. But it was a great experience.
Back there in the back.
Being as you're most in tune with the character, I was wondering if you could write Herschel's epitaph, what would you write?
Spaghetti Tuesdays ever wins.
Back over here.
Is there any character on The Walking Dead that intrigued you as an actor that you would have considered playing other than Herschel, regardless of age or gender?
Maybe I should play Judith because I think they're going to try to protect her.
This young man is back there.
I'm sorry.
Was it more fun to film at the prison or at your farm?
Well, the farm was more fun because I wasn't using crutches all the time. And also, I thought the farm was an opportunity for the characters to kind of reveal themselves to the audience, and I think a lot of fans were thinking it was a little slow, but I think that was an important time frame because you got to know who the characters were and you got to see them